What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I am the Scarlet Kuriboh, and today I am very excited to announce the release of Nightmare Throne. We have a couple new cards in the deck, and we have a new way to play, so I wanted to do an updated deck profile video. And we are going to start things off with one copy of Yubel, as well as one copy of the Terror Incarnate, and one of the Ultimate Nightmare. Ultimate Nightmare is back in the deck. With the additional power and summon spam of Nightmare Throne, this card is going to be giving us a lot more value as of late. So, we want to run a full set, one of each of the Yubels, as well as 3 copies of Spirit of Yubel. I also like to run 3 copies of Samsara D Lotus, and the newly added card, the Gruesome Grave Squirmer. Now this card is going to be really powerful in any kind of Fiend deck, but in Yubel it is especially powerful because when you have it in your hand and you have a Yubel on your field or any Fiend, you special summon it out for free. This card just comes out all on its own, and it gets to pop one of the Yubels on your field, so when this gets popped it gets to summon out a new monster. And what's interesting about the Grave Squirmer, while it's in your graveyard, you banish it, bam, you can special summon out one of your Yubels. Once again, very free card, very easy card to put in 3 of. It is giving us non-stop value, and it's kind of breathed new life into the deck. Grave Squirmer is a huge bonus to have. As well, I like to run 2 Dark Beckoning Beast, 1 copy of Grinder Ghost Golem. This card's very powerful, lets you OTK, especially once you've Super Polyed away your opponent's board, and it's much more searchable now. As well as 1 copy of Blue's Clues and 1 copy of Clifford. You cannot separate the boys. I tried to play with just Clifford. We miss Blue's Clues too much, I'll be honest with you. Having both of them is really powerful, especially because Blue's Clues Grave effect, being able to pop a monster to special summon out, that can get your whole combo started again. Moving on into the spells, we are going to start things off with 3 copies of Nightmare Pain. It's our extender card, it's our facilitator card. We need this card because it does our taxes. Not only does it search, but it makes our opponent's monsters have to attack the Yubels that are on the field, and it deals the dose of battle damage that we would have been taking right back at your opponent. Very powerful card, and you need to have 3 of it. As well, I like to run 3 copies of Nightmare Throne. So Nightmare Throne, another new card in the set. It's very powerful because as soon as you activate it, you get to search for a monster with 0 attack and is a Fiend. So you can get one of your Yubels, you can get the Dark Beckoning Beast, you can go ahead and search out another Spirit. Very powerful card. And anytime any of your Yubels leaves the field, that's used for a Link Summon, they can be destroyed by their own effect, another effect, who cares? As soon as they leave the field, you can then immediately special summon a monster that's Yubel with 1 level higher or lower. So, the level 10 Spirit leaving can bring you out the level 11 Terror. The Terror leaving can get you the level 12 Yubel. Getting 12 can put back the 11. Getting rid of 11, you can get either one of them. It's very powerful facilitator card. So we want to use 3 Nightmare Throne for sure. And to top that off, we're going to use 1 Terraforming. I also like to use 2 copies of Opening the Spirit Gates. This card has 3 effects. The first one is it lets you grab one of your Sacred Beast cards like Dark Beckoning Beast. It also, on discard, lets you special summon out one of your level 10 0 attack point monsters like Yubel, or even better yet, Spirit of Yubel to get the search. And then the third effect is it lets you rotate any of your continuous spells that are in the graveyard back to your hand. It's a very good facilitator card, and paired with the Dark Beckoning Beast, that when you summon it, searches this out. You activate this, it searches out the other Dark Beckoning Beast. It's a 1-card combo. Very powerful and very good facilitator card. Speaking of, we're going to use 1 copy of Mature Chronicle. So this card is also kind of new to the deck. I had it before, but we weren't using it because it wasn't as powerful. With the new Nightmare Throne, we're going to be summoning Yubel monsters a lot more often. And anytime you summon a Yubel monster, it gets a counter. And every time it gets another counter, it's going to have a different powerful effect. One of my favorite is that you get to special summon a Yubel from your graveyard, but another one is that you can add Super Polymerization from your deck. That's right. If you have 5 counters on this card, which honestly can happen very easily, you can search out Super Polymerization. Very good card. We want to have Nightmare Pain, Nightmare Throne, and the Mature Chronicle all in the same build. For a little bit more consistency, I also like to use 1 copy of 1 for 1. This card is really powerful exclusively because it lets you search out the Samsara D Lotus. Very powerful card. We also run 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Now, this is the money card. You can use any of your Yubel monsters and any other number of effect monsters to special summon out Yubel, the Loving Defender Forever. This is the gimmick of the deck. You want to be able to super poly your opponent's entire board with one of your Yubel monsters. Super easy to cheat out this guy, and once it gets summoned, your opponent's going to cry. So, 3 copies of Super Polymerization to wreck your opponent's board. I also like to use 3 copies of Dark Ruler No More, so we can facilitate our combo. We can go off even when we're going second. And to help out with that cause, I like to use 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet. So, fun fact about these cards, they have a really hard time being interacted with. Super Poly you can't interact with at all. Droplets and Dark Ruler, your opponent's going to see you activate them and they're going to put their cards down. They're going to give up and they're going to know that you could take the game. So we want to use a lot of board breakers in this deck. The reason is we don't have a lot of room for hand traps. So instead of wasting our room on hand traps, we're going to use board breakers, kind of like 3 copies of Evenly Matched. So this is very much a going second build. We have cards like Super Poly, Droplet, Evenly Matched. They're going to be able to break our entire opponent's board. And then as soon as it's over, we'll be able to set up our control style Yubels. We also use 1 copy of Obama's Unchained Chamber and 1 Eternal Favorite. This is another Super Poly card. Just like Super Poly, you use your monsters on the opponent's board to Super Poly with it, and you need to have Yubel on the field for this effect to activate. Additionally, you can also use it to special summon out one of your Yubels. So, that's the main deck. Let's talk about the extra, because this is where a lot of the changes have occurred. We have 2 copies of Loving Defender Forever. This is the Super Poly target of all time. To pair it off, we're going to use a Gruesome, a Mud Dragon, and a Starving Venom. You can use that Breda Plant card, but having a bunch of Super Poly targets is going to be very, very important for the deck. And that's going to be it for the fusions. We're also going to use 1 copy of Wave High King Caesar, as well as 1 copy of Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max, and the new card, Vadris, the Final Bringer of the End of Times. So, having some rank 10s are very easy to summon because of how often we're going to be summoning level 10 monsters like Yubel and Spirit of Yubel. This one lets you play for time. It burns your opponent for 2,000, which can honestly end the game very easily. This one does your taxes. It's going to be able to pop cards, negate cards, you name it. And this card also is going to be able to negate some stuff. So, it gives you a lot of interruption with the XYZs. For the links, I use 1 Yamama, 1 Blue's Clues of Rage, and 1 Clifford of Anguish. So, the 3 Unchained cards that we keep in the deck, this one's going to be able to search some stuff out for our mainline combo, this one's going to be able to interrupt our opponent, and during our turn, we can go ahead and use this card to stop your opponent's giant monsters that would otherwise be protected. We also like to use 1 Salamangreat Almirage to be able to dodge Droll with our Dark Beckoning Beast, 1 copy of IP Masquerena with SP Little Knights, and this card is much more powerful now that Baron's out of the way. Appaloosa, the Bow of the Goddess. This is our last Omni-Negate that we can rely on, and we are able to play this much easier with the summon spam provided by the Nightmare Throne field spell. So, that's going to be it for the main deck. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them down in the comments.